All 12 of the Team of the Year winners in NHL 25 have been released, and in this video, we're going to rank them 1 through 12 and give you my opinion as to why I think each one is better than the other. I want to make it very clear that if you have a favorite team or a favorite player that has won a Team of the Year item, please forego this entire list and make that player first. However, if you are looking to build the most competitive team or use your resources in the best way possible, in my opinion, that this is the list for you. I also need to make it very clear that team context does matter. So when it comes to ranking the defenseman, if you have a 99 Colton Parayko, Cale Makar probably shouldn't be as high as maybe Megan Keller or Quinn Hughes, simply because Cale Makar's 99 is never going to pass Colton Parayko, for example. So again, there are instances in which the rankings aren't going to match up to your team context, so I just want to make that very clear. That being said, let's get into my rankings when it comes to this year's Team of the Year player items. Coming in at number 12, no surprise here, the goaltenders are always going to struggle in lists like these because A, goaltenders don't provide a ton of value when it comes to the other positions, but Kristen Campbell at 5'10 is just going to struggle more than almost all other goaltenders that are taller than her because EA hasn't found a way to fix the problem. Now, it's not like Kristen Campbell's card doesn't offer some value because she gives you great synergy help, but unless you are among the richest in Hockey Ultimate Team or a fan of Kristen Campbell, this would be a hard avoid. Her card is, in my opinion, the last of all of the Team of the Year winners. Coming in at number 11, we've got the 90 Erin Ambrose, 5'5", 132. Not gonna be honest with you, her skating and abilities are actually half decent. And if she was a forward and not a defenseman, she probably would be higher in this list. But there is an issue when it comes to smaller defensemen. And the reason is that they just cover less of the ice. When you're trying to defend with Zdeno Chara or Victor Hedman, for example, their reach is just far longer, and it's harder to get around in general. On top of that, even if she hits 99 and her body checking gets all the way to max, it's going to be really tough for this card to knock anyone that's slightly bigger off of the puck. Elite Edges is great, as is Quick Pick, but the other three are just kind of whatever. So for that reason, she would be number 11 for me. Again, if you are a fan of the Montreal Victoire, then I would definitely make her card, but if not, this would be a pass. Coming in at number 10 is the 90 Connor Hellebuyck, and I'm going to go over my reasoning as to why he is so low. Obviously, I've explained a number of times that goaltenders really will never give you consistent performances where they just bail you out and bring you up a division in rivals. However, this is the best goaltender probably in the game right now. He's got great synergies, good abilities, good speed, and he's 6'4". The reason why I have him at number 10 behind some other players that we're going to get into is because Connor Hellebuyck is the best that he is going to be right now. The major issue with goaltenders is that as the game goes along, it does not matter if they are 99 overall. When shooting stats get to 99, it doesn't matter what goal you have in. Their attributes just do not matter, and unless they're 6'7" or 8, you're really not going to see a difference. In my opinion, I think that shooting totals and attributes should go up at 0.5, in my opinion, just along with skating, because I feel like we just ignore it so much. But once we get to 99 shooting, it doesn't matter who you have in net, they are just going to let stuff in. Now, as it stands right now, Connor Hellebuyck, like I said, his card is going to be very good. But as the game goes along, he's not going to get better as he moves up in overall, because all of the other cards are really high 90 shooting already. And once we go even further into the year, that's going to compound the problem. So again, in terms of value in the rankings of the other players, Connor Hellebuyck for me would be number 10. But if you are a Hut rich and you don't have any interest of the cards that we're going to talk about right in front of him, then there's no problem with setting it and forgetting it when it comes to your goaltender with Connor Hellebuyck. At number 9, we've got the 90 Natalie Spooner, 5'10", 181. Her stats are good, but not exceptional. Her skating is in the low 90s, not in the high 90s or even the mid 90s, and she can only play right-handed wing. Her face-off rating at 85 is not going to get much better, so she's a pure right-handed winger, which is why I have her ranked so low. Unstoppable Force is fine with the fact that she's a little bit smaller at 5'10", 181, but doesn't have elite edges or any of the other really impactful abilities that will help out cards. So compared to the other player items that have really high attributes and the important stats, Natalie Spooner, given the fact that she is just a right-handed winger, she comes in at number 9 for me. Number 8 would be the 90 overall Marie-Philippe Poulin. Now, 5'6", 161. A lot of people are going to laugh at this because she is very small, and in-game, we've just been forced to only use big players. However, in NHL 25, you can get away with using smaller items at forward, in my opinion. And she does have speed boost, which if you can get activated, gives her 95 speed. Her middle synergy of agility boost gets her agility up to 95. And then sniper forward will get her wrist shot power and accuracy into the mid-90s. She also has 92 face-off, so you can play her at center. And the other big benefit is I actually think Born Leader or Goal-Born Leader is just such a bonus because the stamina issues throughout everyone's lineup, because line changes are just so busted, I think will actually provide some good value if she plays high in your lineup. The other abilities that she has, in my opinion, are pretty brutal. And if Natalie Spooner could play center with even just 90 face-offs, I would probably have her ranked higher. But given all of that, I've got her ranked at number 8. Like I mentioned at Connor Hellebuyck, if you have no interest in Marie-Philippe Poulin or Natalie Spooner, this is where I would rank Hellebuyck in that team context. Coming in at number 7, we've got the 90 overall Quinn Hughes. 5'10", 180 is a great player item. 94 speed, 94 excel, 99 agility. With defensive boost activated, you can get him up to 94 defensive awareness. He gets power or pinpoint shooting boost, which helps out with either the accuracy or power of his shot. And then he's got two-way defenseman, which again can boost his defensive awareness. The reason why I have Quinn Hughes so low is because of another left-handed defenseman that we're going to talk about in a little bit. And you have to compare them against each other in rankings. Now, Gold Elite Edges is one of, if not the best abilities in the game. However, Stick 'em Up, Tape to Tape, and Seeing Eye are all nice, but not super impactful. It is nice that he does get Born Leader. There is no doubt that he is one of the best skaters in the game. I just think that there are slightly better options, and had the other left-handed defenseman not been released, he'd be much higher on the list. But because of that, that is why I have him at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we've got Nikita Kucherov. Now, as it stands right now, he is one of the best cards in the game, and I want to make it clear that as I rank these cards, it is not that I am not saying that any of them are bad. I'm just simply having to rank them against each other. He gets power pinpoint shooting boost, which can almost max out his wrist shot, and he gets checking or playmaking boost. The reason why I have him at number 6 is because he is purely a left-handed winger, and you have to understand that if you make a Team of the Year card, they are locked in your lineup for the duration of the game, especially if you're no money spent. So because he can't play center, that really gives you less lineup flexibility. If he could play center, then you could use 4 other left-handed wingers if you have ones that interest you more as the game goes along, but he is essentially locked into one of your 4 left-handed winger spots. Puck on a String is one of the best abilities for players that know how to use it. If you are someone that plays a ton of World of Chell, I've said this a number of times, I think that Puck on a String is a great ability. But for the majority of the player base that does not stick handle left and right at almost all times, Puck on a String just isn't going to be as impactful for a lot of the player base. 1T is nice, but not necessary given skill-based one-timers. Tape to Tape is okay, but you can essentially get auto sauces when you use icon passing. Make It Snappy is good, not great in NHL 25 in my opinion. And Elite Edges is fantastic. If they switched Elite Edges and Puck on a String, I think for a majority of the player base, this would be maybe a little bit higher. This is a phenomenal card. It's just very hard to rank these other cards below him because of a whole lot of team context. At number 5, we've got the 90 overall Taylor Heisey at 5'10", 160. Again, not an extremely small player. Definitely on the smaller end, but there's NHLers that are roughly around this size. She's got sniper and playmaking forward, agility boost in that middle slot to get her agility up to 95, and then power and pinpoint shooting boost. The reason why I have her ranked ahead of Nikita Kucherov is simply because she can play center or wing. Elite Edges is great. Again, Silver Puck on a String can be great for some players. Then she's also got Unstoppable Force, which is nice for her build. But really, the reason why I have her ranked ahead of Kucherov is simply lineup flexibility. The fact that you can play her on the wing or at center is great. She's one of the better skaters in the game already. And from my entire community that has used Taylor Heisey, nothing but great reviews so far. So that is why she, for me, is at number 5. Coming in at number 4, the 90 Cale Makar. He's got two-way defenseman and offensive defenseman, power shooting and pinpoint shooting boost, and then checking and defensive boost. There's no way around it. This is one of the best cards in the game. He's got gold wheels. He's among one of the fastest cards, so he can keep his speed at all times. Silver Shutdown is fantastic. Puck on a String is good for, again, some of the player base. Heatseeker has been one of my favorite abilities all year, and Elite Edges has proven to be one of the best abilities across the board. There's an argument to make Cale Makar number 1 because he has almost a perfect ability combo, and for a lot of the player base, if you don't have the likes of Colton Parayko, you can go ahead and make him first. In all honesty, I think he is going to be one of the most fun players to use for the rest of the season. He's guaranteed a 99. However, the progression is the issue here. And we're going to talk about that because at number 3, we've got the 94 Megan Keller. And I want to explain why I think Megan Keller is the 3rd best player in the Team of the Year release. The progression change to making it so much slower in NHL 25 needs to be taken into account here. Because she has a fantasy item, and every time that she scores in real life, she goes up +2, and even if she doesn't score, for Quinn Hughes, or Cale Makar, if you're trying to make just one defenseman, for them to get to 94, given what we have seen so far from the EA content team, we are essentially looking at April, maybe May, to get a 94 overall Quinn Hughes or Cale Makar card. And that's if Megan Keller doesn't score again in one of her 15, I believe, remaining games in the PWHL. On top of that, she's already one of the most fun cards to use. Again, speaking with my entire community that has used Megan Keller, nothing but fantastic reviews. She's got offensive and two-way defenseman to help out, almost maxing out her defensive awareness. She's got pinpoint and power shooting boost to almost max out her shot. And then checking or defensive boost, again, that would max out her defensive awareness to stick checking. On top of that, she's got gold shutdown, which is one of the best defensive abilities in the game. Quick pick is great as well. Elite edges and heat seeker, all phenomenal abilities. Again, I think when you take progression into account, if you are simply just trying to make the card that is going to give you the best team possible, I truthfully believe that Megan Keller is the 3rd best of the Team of the Year release. And in all honesty, given how progression has gone this year, she could even get up to number 1 if she scores very quickly. Coming in at number 2 is the 90 Nathan MacKinnon. 94 speed, 95 excel and agility, always one of the best skaters in the game, and currently can max out his agility at 99. He's got gold elite edges, which is perfect. Puck on a string, 1T, unstoppable force, and silver wheels. Again, all just great supplemental abilities. There's not much else to say here. He is going to be one of the best right-handed wingers that we're going to get in the game. And with a few more upgrades and his face-off rating getting a little bit higher, you could play him at center as well, which gives you, again, lineup flexibility for the remainder of the year. Now, progression is extremely slow, but Nathan MacKinnon, as well as Cale Makar, Kucherov, and Hughes, I do want to make that clear, they'll all hit 99. It's just a matter of when. But for all these reasons, Nathan MacKinnon is my easy number 2. And then coming in at number 1 is obviously Connor McDavid. When you have everything active, he just feels different. Now, there is an issue going on where they run out of stamina very fast, and hopefully that gets addressed a little bit. But because he's got gold wheels and edges, when he has the puck, there's just no one really faster outside of the 99 fantasy cards. He's got a great shot. His hand stats are almost already maxed, and he's got 90 faceoffs. Again, this is a card that is guaranteed to get to 99, or at least stay on top of the highest progression as the game goes along. Can play center or wing, and it's Connor McDavid. So, in my opinion, he would be the number 1 out of all of the Team of the Year options. Nothing really surprising there, in all honesty. And that is who I went with on my No Money Spent team. Now, I hope this helps make some decisions, again, throughout the week on my Who Should You Choose videos. If you want to leave a comment given your certain team context, I'd be happy to help out, try and make your decision a little bit easier. These are never easy rankings. Again, I've listened to my entire community. I've used a bunch of these myself. It's more of a guideline than gospel where you should absolutely follow this ranking. It's just to try and help break some ties for people and make their decision a little bit easier. I do think this is an event where you should burn your entire collection to try and make as many players as you can, but I hope this helps. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.